Hello, welcome to the first episode of Seen It, Believe It. This little channel is going to be made is only for the paranormal encounters, experiences, investigations, and stories that I have seen through my years as a paranormal investigator, also with my older brother. I was a paranormal investigator for 4 years. I started it in the middle of 2017 and I left in beginning of 2020, and I recently went back in May of this year of 2021. Today we're going to talk about a hunt we went on in 2018, I believe. I think it was May of 2018. It was July 12th, 2019. We went on this hunt in Athens, Ohio, known as the Ridges. The Ridges Cemetery, to be exact. There were multiple cemeteries here. It was the resting place for a lot of, for the Athens Lunatic Asylum in Athens, Ohio. Most patients' graves there do not have their names on it, just their patient number, ID numbers, and you could barely see them. It was that bad there. So we went on this hunt. We started the hunt from July 11th to July 13th. It was a 3-day hunt we went on. The first 2 days were just looking over the grounds, getting information about the patients there, the staff, which is now the Ohio University, owns the land. So this hunt was very traumatizing to a few of our staff on the crew of this investigation. There was 6 of us. We split up in two teams of 3. Each of us had a camera, a voice recorder, and an object, a trigger object. It would either be one of us had a bell. I remember because one of the patients there had a thing for the ding of a bell. I can't remember which team had it. Another one of us had a part of a straitjacket. I think I had the straitjacket. My team had the straitjacket. It was me on one team. It was me, my brother, and we'll call, to save the other crew's identity, we'll name the third guy on our team Rick. It was me, my brother Rick, Trevor, Tanner, and Steve. Tanner, Trevor, and Steve were on the second team. They went to the north side of the cemetery. Me, my brother, and Rick went to the south side. We started investigating around 6 p.m. I keep looking to the corner because ticks usually. It usually brings back some memories for me. Anyway, we went on this investigation around 6:30, and it started. We were going to investigate from 6 to 6, a 12-hour hunt. Nothing for the first 2 hours, 3 hours. Around 9:30, 10 o'clock hit. We figured it would just be safe just to go home. So we were packing, and all we heard was these footsteps in the leaves. It sounded like heavy boot steps on concrete, but it was leaves. But it sounded a lot like leaves. But the weird thing was there was no leaves on the ground. It was a freshly mowed grass. So we started thinking, I'm like, what could that be? I remember Rick had the voice recorder. I told Rick to get the voice recorder out so we can capture that. And as soon as we would put new batteries in, it would be in the hunt. The batteries were drained completely. So we just decided, let's get our cameras, go see what the noise is, because maybe there's someone here, someone else with us. Not part of the paranormal, but an actual living being. So we got our cameras, our flashlights, we started looking. And all we heard, all 6 of us were together at this point. All we heard was a little girl's, like, cry. It was very faint. I remember Tanner, he ran toward it because Tanner has a daughter, and it sounded just like her. And that was coming from we were heading east. That cry came from the south. Tanner immediately took off on us. It took us over an hour to find them. And that hunt went downhill real fast. It took us over an hour to find him. He was sitting by a grave marked 103. And so we did a little research. We couldn't find whose grave that was. What patient was there. We couldn't find anything about it. So I took a picture of it. I sent it to one of my guys up in Cleveland, Ohio, who is a caretaker for cemeteries around that area. I said, hey man, you've been to Athens recently, right? He said, yeah, I was there last week. Why? I said, we have we can't find this patient's name anywhere. He said, what's the number on it? I said 103. He just sighed. He went, well, I'll see what I can do and I'll get back to you guys in a few days. I said, all right, thank you. Back to the hunt though. Once we found Tanner, we gathered our thoughts. We started searching the perimeter. And nothing was found. And all of a sudden, me, Tanner, and Steve got real cold. But only on our shoulders. It literally felt like a hand just lay on my shoulder. And I'm like, that don't feel right. And all we felt was these little, like someone taking this pen, popping it open, and just dragging it down our shoulders, all the way down our arms. We were wearing long sleeve shirts at this point because it was dark, and all I hear is Steve just scream, because it felt like he got bit. I said, Steve, lift up your. I said, Steve, pull your shirt up a little bit. Because it felt like a bitting. He said he felt a bite like right in his forearm. I tell him to pull his sleeve back a little bit. He wouldn't do it. So I'm like, Steve, walk with me real quick. We started talking about it, and I said, what's wrong? What's going on? He went, when we found Tanner, I felt like we were being watched. I didn't say anything to you guys because I didn't want to freak you guys out. And I said, Steve, we're a team. You have to talk about this stuff. So we went back to the crew. I said, Steve, you need to lift your sleeve up. We need to make sure you're not like bleeding or anything, because we thought he got hit by a briar because we were in the briar thicket there. He lifted up his sleeve, and there was literally a line there and a line there, about that far apart. And it was literally 2 people's fingers like digging into his skin. And we thought he got hit by 2 briars, but no. You could literally see the finger marks like that, but they were blood red. That would be. So we started. I took Steve back to the truck, see if he was all right. He was all right. We went back out. We went back out probably around midnight that night. We still had 6 more hours to go. So we decided to go to the west side of the cemeteries. Good God, I wish we didn't. Because as soon as we made it to the first grave, I remember the grave really vividly. It was 152. One of the first graves we stopped at, we had one voice recorder left that was still working right. I put it like this is the voice recorder. I basically, let me find something like this is like the cemetery. This is the gravestone. I put that voice recorder right on top of it, and as soon as I did, all you heard was like someone like crunching it. It worked fine, but the thing about it was we caught it on our voice recorder. It sounded a lot louder in person than it did in the voice recorder, because it sounded very like faint. So faint we had to put earplugs into it. We had to put like earbuds and headphones into it. We had to plug our headphones into it to get that to play loud enough for us to actually hear what was going on. We spent 3 hours in that thing at 3 o'clock. Nothing happened from 12:15 to 3 o'clock. No, from 12:15 to 2:45, nothing happened. After that, we were at the very end of the west side cemetery. We started heading back towards the middle of it, towards our truck. And as soon as we did, I felt a sharp like pain, like right in the back of my calf. And I was wearing like thick jeans, as I knew the briars were bad there. And I felt when I was in the middle of the cemetery, there was no way there was be briars. So I lift up, I run to the truck, take a pair of scissors, snip these pants open, and I had a bite mark on the back of my calf. And this bite mark, I remember it. It was about that big. Perfect teeth marks. But they were crooked. Like the teeth, each corner of the teeth were like turned diagonal. And it terrified all of us, because we had a lot of respect for the grounds. Trevor, he was a descendant of Cherokee culture, and he decided at the end of our hunt at 6 a.m. we asked the people who owned it if we could bless the grounds, because it felt like something evil was there, and they said no, because they do not want to disturb any beings there. We agreed with it. We went our way, but that was probably one of the most disturbing hunts we went on, because we heard so much in our ear, out in the with no voice recorder. We heard so much, but we didn't catch anything on voice recorder. It was literally like something was talking in our heads half the time. It was just insane. Would I go back to that with the original crew? I probably would. Would the other guys go back? No. But the rules of being a paranormal investigator, I'm going to say this right now. Do not use a Ouija board. Please. Do not try paranormal investigating on your own to a place where you don't know. Let me phrase that. Don't do it at all. Unless you have been properly trained. It takes the right mindset to do that. And you may say ghost ain't real, all that. Have you seen it? Have you heard it? Have you experienced it? If not, you can't believe it. Thank you so much. I'm out of time. The next episode will be later this week. Thank you, and I will see you guys in the next one.